All right, the weather is changing. The temperatures, they are getting cooler as we approach the Thanksgiving holiday. However, here on New York Sports Rapid Rundown, things are just heating up. Joining me today for our pre-Thanksgiving episode is a digital content creator who loves New York sports. You've seen his work with The Source, Newsweek, ESPN, and Sports Illustrated. My guy, Omari White. Omari, what's going on, man?
How you doing, Dex, man? I'm great.
I'm doing good, man.
Honored to be on your show. I've been following for quite some time, and I got to salute you, man. Give you your flowers while I have the opportunity to do that. It's an amazing show to
Thank you, man.
Paying attention to.
I appreciate it. The show, I think it's a good show.
Absolutely.
I do think it's a pretty good show. And I have great people that work on it, like my director, Joe, my producer, Lee. But the show, the reason it's so amazing is we get different voices on here. That's what makes it so great. The thing I forgot to mention in the intro, which I usually like to do for people, you're also a fellow Brooklynite.
Of course.
So you know, when Brooklyn's in the house, you know what time it is.
Clinton Hill, chill, Fort Greene Lean. I got to represent. It's only right, you know?
There you go, man. I like that. Glad to have you here. Now, look, Omari, and this is for the people, this was quite the week in New York sports, especially, you got to have a side for this because if it comes to New York football, you're sighing, right? When it comes to New York football, this was quite the week. Now, the Knicks, they're riding a winning streak. Their offense looks really good, but the New York football teams, they got rid of some people in some stunning and earlier than expected moves. So, Omari, we're going to do this. We're going to start with the New York Jets. Now, folks, New York Jets, 6 weeks ago, they fired head coach Robert Saleh. After doing that, they've now parted ways with general manager Joe Douglas. This happened earlier this week. Now, Omari, I think the timing of this move was shocking to many fans as it was expected to come this offseason.
Right.
But do you think this was the right move, and what does it say about the state of the franchise under Woody Johnson's ownership?
Well, start off this whole entire conversation, I have to just, it reminds me of the perfect Nas intro, if the classic song, If I Rule the World. Life. I wonder, would it take me under? I don't know. And that's just pretty much, as a lifelong Jet fan, resonates with the entire time of being a Jets fan. Grays growing in left and right. And I say that to say, the confusion with what's going on over there has been nonstop ever since I became a fan at the age of 10. I think the next move you got to make is find a coach that pretty much resonates with the quarterback style of Aaron Rodgers. Give Aaron one more year. Give him some leeway because you brought in Devontae Adams, his go-to receiver, to make sure that, add some experience to that receiver core. And I think that you should take that risk and just, look after what's going on over at Dallas because it's getting interesting over there.
Ooh.
I think you should keep an eye on Mike McCarthy.
So Mike McCarthy is the name you like for coach.
I think so.
I'm going to get back to the coach thing in 1 second. Hold that thought. I want to get back there.
Okay.
But you're a Jets fan, and you just blamed the Jets for the grays in your beard.
Yes,
okay?
absolutely.
You blamed the Jets franchise for the grays in your beard. What did you make of the job that now gone general manager, Joe Douglas did, and did you look at this firing and say, oh, this was deserved?
It was pretty much deserved for the most part because of the fact that you have brought in so many assets, weapons to try to rebuild the culture, especially with Sam Darnold, with Mike White, and
you didn't even mention Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson. I don't.
You wanted to forget
that. It's just the point where I want to say that we have to value a new reset in general, because the fact that we've been through so many same techniques, same formulas of success. Well, trying to fight for that amount of success for the most part is just like we're not going nowhere. So we need an actual restart, but. When you got an old vet who's on his way out the door like Aaron Rodgers, who was able to try to make a last-second pickup with Devontae Adams, give it a last one hurrah. Give it let's warm up for the knockout punch or knockout punch attempt to be able to say, what, we're back in business. So that way we can transition over to the next generation. Because we have some future stars in the building. We got, Garrison Wilson. We got my man Sauce, adding the Sauce with the defensive side of things. Let's be able to try to give the OGs their last opportunity. Be like, you know what? Time is ticking like a roller, you feel me? Silently just turning, man. Slowly but surely,
I'm just here trying to make sure you don't get any more gray hairs. That's the thing I'm trying to make sure that doesn't happen.
Right.
One thing before I have another follow-up for you, because you talked about, we're going to get to the quarterback situation, but you mentioned Mike McCarthy and looking at what's going on in Dallas and bringing him in. Rex Ryan this week was throwing his name into the ring. how would you feel about Rex coming back to the Jets? Are you trying to go a little bit back to the past to get to the future?
Blast from the past because he's the coach that helped Aaron Rodgers get his first Super Bowl. He knows him from the back of his hand. Granted, they had a little split back behind the scenes here and there, but time heals all. Let's bring back the family. Why not? One last hurrah.
All right, so you're with McCarthy here. You're with McCarthy
Absolutely.
on this. All right, so you're with this. Now, when we talk about the quarterback situation with the Jets, look, the Jets have been described as being in quarterback hell, right? Because they just haven't found that franchise quarterback that they want going forward. So looking forward, what should be the top priority for the next Jets GM in fixing this quarterback issue? Because, okay, you said maybe one last hurrah, one more year of Aaron Rodgers, but that does not fix the quarterback problem. This team has not had a franchise quarterback since Joe Namath. That was a long time ago. We were not here.
Listen.
So what should be the top priority for the next GM in fixing this quarterback issue?
I think you go figure out what experienced quarterback that's in college football that you could just, draft and throw them in the fire right now as we speak. One quarterback that I think would be a perfect fit other than Aaron Rodgers when Shedeur Sanders is off the draft board will be Cam Ward. That's somebody you should be looking out for. Granted, he might be going off a little bit earlier, but I think his style of play with the offense that we got going on right now would be a decent little fit. And if I'm the GM and Mike McCarthy's not available, you might as well try to make that call to Bill Belichick.
Oh, here we go.
You see how he was able to develop the confidence of Tom Brady. Stern, but guess what? He gets the job done. You want to win, right? I'm tired of losing.
Hey, you're the first person to mention this on the show in the offseason, going to Bill Belichick. You know those rumors are coming. That is going to be there. So it's really interesting there. But you think one more year of Aaron Rodgers, now, do you think Aaron Rodgers has anything left? Because he's got some grays in the beard like you. I'm not saying you're washed. I'm just saying, does he have anything left?
I think we just got to treat him let him do his dark retreat one last time, give him a little bit of grace, but he has to be back in training camp on time, so that way we get the ball rolling, because that slow start leading up to the season between training camp and developing that chemistry in general, it pretty much created the setback, which resulted to the situation we're in right now, personally speaking. But one more last ride.
Okay. All right, I got you. Listen, when you want one more ride with Aaron Rodgers, you're lobbying for Mike McCarthy. I just want less gray hairs in the beard, man. I'm not saying it doesn't look good, but just to be clear, I'm not saying that about Omari. I'm not saying that at all.
Gotta polish the beard. You feel me?
There you go. We just don't want the stress. I just don't want the stress for you. That's what I'm saying.
When you're a lifelong Mets and Jet fan, it comes with the territory.
That is not encouraging for the people, but I understand.
It is what it is. As a native Brooklyn, New Yorker in general, it comes with the territory. It develops character, you feel me? So they'll be all right.
I hope they're all right. We will see what the Jets do. The Jets making a very shocking move this week, firing Joe Douglas. We'll see how things work out for them. Okay, on to the Giants, who made moves of their own this week, right? On Thursday, and this is crazy how this all went down. On Thursday, they benched Daniel Jones, dropping him down to the third-string Scooby. Then one day later, just 1 day later, people, they officially cut ties with Danny Dimes as the team released him. Now, what did you make of the timing of this move, and was it the right call for this Giants organization?
I mean, I think it was a horrible call because you spent so much money on this man, and for you just to let him go like that when he's walking away with roughly, 60 to 80 million, if I'm not mistaken, just to say, hey, we don't need your services is just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But Tommy, my man, should turn this stuff up to the plate. I wouldn't mind, being able to see what we could do for the G-Man, because at the end of the day, like last year alone, Daniel's been struggling with the offense. Was last in total yardage, yards being thrown for the most part. It was just a lot of, helter-skelter, miscommunication, and just not being confident out there to be able to lead the G-Man like that.
So for me, part of this is I get the point you're making about the money, but it's already a sunk cost, right? And Daniel Jones was not producing for the Giants, and I think Giants fans I've talked to have been like, look, we don't miss him right now.
Right.
We're fine with him going. So I understand the Giants cutting ties. They're trying to move on to a new era, maybe let Shane and Daboll find their quarterback. But with all that being said, When you look at this Daniel Jones era, if you want to call it that, right? When you look at the era, do you think Jones's struggles were more about his limitations as a player or the failures of the organization to build a winning team and have the pieces around him to succeed?
I think it's the limitations as a player because he had the weapons. Saquon Barkley was there for him to take a little off the pressure. You had a decent wide receiver core. Granted, the OL line, the offensive line was just horrendous. Still is, though. Still some work to do, though. But it's talent around him to make sure that it take a relief of his stress. You have a rising star in Malik Neighbors, who's able to show that he has some huge upside. It's just on a matter of him trying to develop a better quarterbacking core to make sure that he could bring something to the table. But he hasn't been working on that. And the proof is in the pudding, on the gridiron.
Yeah, I mean, the proof is in the pudding and then wins and losses. And outside of the 2022 season, when he led the Giants to the playoffs, there's not much there. There hasn't been much there for Giants fans to cheer about. I think the hope for Giants fans is I don't know what they have to look forward to for the rest of the season. It is Tommy DeVito. No shade to Tommy DeVito. But most Giants fans I talk to, they're like, can we get the number one pick? Like, that's what they're talking about.
I mean, if you get the number one pick, that comes with a potential package deal. The thing is, do you say, hey, let's take Shadir and potentially draft Deion? I mean, it comes from Deion Sanders. Now, if Deion's going to let that rock out, is the real question that need to be answered. Because I don't know. It's given that he wanted to take his talents to Dallas, our rivalry right there.
That'd be it's very interesting where Shedeur Sanders will go. We'll get into that down the road. Listen, could Shedeur Sanders help the Giants in uniform? Yes. In a Giants uniform, could he help them?
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. We'll see. There's a lot going on around there that we'll have to see. But the Giants, they've made their moves. They've cut their ties. They are moving on, and it is on to the next one for the New York Football Giants. All right, we're going to take it to the hardwood. Omari, the Knicks, they're on a 4-game winning streak. And look, their offense is looking really good. It's been clicking at an elite level.
Right.
What, in your eyes, has been the biggest catalyst for this offensive surge that we're seeing with the Knicks right now?
I think the biggest surge will have to be the ball movement, knowing the fact that pretty much their core stars are shooters for the most part. You got Cat, who's shooting very well from behind the range, as well as being able to make sure to get everybody's touches the ball rather than the previous offense going through Julius Randle, pounding the ball like crazy, or every now and then frequent isolation moments with Jalen Brunson. I think that being able to make sure that people move the rock around, to put people in a position to contribute, everybody eats. Everybody is happy at the end of the day. You even have Jericho Sims stepping in and, put back dunks here and there because the ball is being moved around. It's active. So the more active it is, the more opportunities where it's just like, okay, everything's very cohesive to say the least.
Everything looks really good. The offense looks great. And you're right about the assists. In the last 4 games, they're leading the NBA in assists per games. They're 9th in the league in assists right now. You see Jalen Brunson with a couple of double-digit assist games, so he's been dropping dimes. Now, the other side of this, okay, is defense. Offense looks good. It's fun. Defense has been a struggle. And Tom Thibodeau, he's known for his defensive schemes. This is what we know him from. This is his bag. But the defense, as I said, struggled to start the season, right, Omari?
Right.
How concerning is it for you that the offense is what is carrying this team right now? And do you think the Knicks can turn around their below league average defense and get it up to above average? Do you think they can turn it around this season?
Absolutely. I think with this Knicks core, they pretty much still finding their identity of who they are as a team, despite the new additions and subtractions that's being made during the offseason. And they got to realize the fact that they have players that can get it done on both ends on the floor that just got to take some time to make sure that, all right, I find my footing, like OG Anunoby. It's their first full season with us since we were able to acquire him from that trade. So it's on a matter of just develop some more time, some more maturity where it's just saying to myself, like, all right, I'm able to find my footing by game 15 or 16. That's when we're able to establish the foundation of what the defensive core is going to look like, because the offense is going to eventually come regardless. They're red hot right now. It's just on a matter of just making sure that they're staying true to this new identity, so that way they can develop the confidence through the defense through OG and over time Mitchell Robinson to be able to step in and just become a force in the middle of the paint.
Yeah, and I think as they get certain players back, right, whether it's Mitchell Robinson, Precious Achiuwa, I think you will see the defense improve. Like, there's a concern level I've heard from Knicks fans about this. and I think it's fair.
Right.
Because it's not what you're used to. It's not what you're used to seeing with Tom Thibodeau teams. But I think, like you said, it's time getting used to each other.
Right.
It'll come around.
Now,
I'm feeling good about the Knicks. Go ahead.
I honestly do think they need one more addition.
What do you think that should be?
I think if I was a Knicks GM, if I was Leon, I would say figure out a nice little package deal to try to get Isaiah Stewart from the Detroit Pistons.
Okay.
Gritty, loves to crash the boards. Granted, he's undersized, but his energy, his enthusiasm, him being a pain in the butt, just ask LeBron James. He knows how to, rattle the opponents for the most part. And that kind of grittiness is going to help him become a fan favorite out here and potentially just put us in the NBA Finals. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
All right, you're giving a lot of hope on the show. Well, except maybe for the Jets, you're giving some hope. Okay,
I just
NBA
felt
Finals.
another grade growing in. Okay.
There you go. At least you didn't mention the Knicks. At least the Knicks are not giving you grays at this point. At least that's a good thing. The Jets, they do, and the Mets, they probably took some grays away this year.
Yeah, they did. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Shout out to Francisco Lindor, did an amazing job. Stepping in, and it was that mid-season run that pretty much helped me calm down. Enjoy the vibes for the most part. So
and then the jet season came.
I'm like, where's my Cabernet? Please, let's wrap this up.
That is my guy, Omari. Check him out. Omari White does a great job in terms of creating a lot of content. You also do some stuff. I want to tell people you do some stuff with high school basketball that I'm going to have you on New York Got Game to talk about soon.
Yes.
So you're doing a lot in that space. So I'm looking forward to a lot of the content that you have coming up.
Yes, absolutely. Me and three of my friends, we run a social media platform called NYC Prospects, where we cover high school basketball throughout the tri-state area, highlight players. We do an IG Live every Monday. It's called the Two Clap Reports. Shout outs to my guy, Tony Davis, a.k.a. Two Claps, who pretty much bring different players and coaches on the IG Live just to, just talk about hoops in general and just create that actual authentic high school feel.
I like that. We're gonna talk more about that. I have to have you on New York Hot Game to talk with me about that for sure. Again, that is Omari White. Check it out. First time on the New York Sports Rapid Rundown. I hope you had a good time.
Yes,
I'm wishing you success and less gray hair stress.
Thank you, sir. Can't wait to eat up all the turkey. Hopefully lose all that weight on Black Friday. And yes, thank you again for having me on your show. It's been an honor. Love what you're doing.
Appreciate you, man.
And keep up the great work.
Well, you keep up the great work, too. Have a great Thanksgiving. Everybody, we will be back next week post-Thanksgiving on the New York Sports Rapid Rundown.